I sure hope you like being overwhelmed by mind-boggling amounts of traffic, because right now, we're in a city where the total number of registered vehicles equals 7.7 million.
This is Sao Paulo, Brazil. South America's largest city has seen its vehicle population quadruple since 1980.
Welcome to Brazil, baby.
This landlocked metropolis is home to 20 million people and some of the world's most congested traffic.
Motherfucker, right? Oh, totally, yeah, but I speak it in English.
When the traffic does move, it doesn't all move at the same speed.
I'm trapping myself!
Motorcycle delivery drivers, known as Moto Boys, go way faster than the car traffic.
Ooh, I'm passing a motorboy. I'm now a man.
I'll be here for the next week, driving as many different vehicles as I can get my hands on.
Woo!
With the goal of learning enough about the local driving culture to ultimately work as a moto boy.
There's a sign that says 50, we're doing 90.
But being on the streets of Sao Paulo will mean getting squeezed, almost scratched, squished, and surrounded.
So unless you get some perverse thrill out of that feeling you get when you're lost in a crowd, don't drive here.
I'm Andrew Younghusband. Is 1 week enough time to learn how to drive as well as a local in a city that has some of the world's most dangerous traffic? I'm about to find out.
Here in the super crowded city of Sao Paulo, there are over 900,000 motorcycles on the street. It's easily the fastest way to get around town. So to really get involved in the motorcycle traffic here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get on the back of a bike that's driven by a guy who deals with motorcycle tourism. And then, let's assume I survive that, what I'm going to do is drive myself. Often in these cultures, I'm kind of cocky and I'm kind of excited about it. Here, honestly, not so much. I'm nervous because every single day in Sao Paulo, on average, more than one motorcyclist dies.
The man who will be introducing me to Sao Paulo's motorcycle culture is Fox Dalbin. And before we even move, he's got a warning for me.
Take care.
Take care of my knees. You take care of my knees, man. You're the one steering.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
As soon as we enter the flow of the multi-lane traffic,
The motorbike do this.
we're getting passed by honking moto boys.
Look this.
Look, so that's a moto boy.
Yeah.
Whipping around like that.
They do beep beep.
They go beep beep?
Beep beep.
When they're going to pass you?
Yeah.
The moto boys aren't just easy to hear.
This guy gonna cross.
They're also easy to spot. Some of them have bulging backpacks, but most of them have large boxes strapped to the back of their bikes.
So this guy here, that's a moto boy.
Yeah, you saw this is motorboy, yeah.
And to enable them to squeeze through the lanes of cars, most of them have very narrow handlebars.
They modify their bike to get the handlebars tighter together.
Yeah, sure, man.
Crazy.
There is one other way to tell the difference between a moto boy and a regular motorcyclist.
They are a little bit crazy, man.
Really? We're all in the bus lane.
Yeah.
Wow, you're a little bit crazy too.
Little do I know, I have yet to begin to experience how crazy the two-wheel drivers are in this town.
Man, motorboys everywhere, cars everywhere. We're now going to the bus lane so we can pass people like that. Back into the legal lane. Holy crap. Oh, pothole.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
It's okay, it's okay.
Pulling onto the highway, Fox lets go to communicate with a hand signal, then, whoa, starts flying between the lanes of cars.
Wow! Spill.
This is way faster than I like to go. But we're not going as fast as the Moto Boys.
Another one?
This is, what are we doing? We're doing 70 kilometers an hour and we're being passed. Holy crap!
Apparently Fox doesn't like to be passed because
Oh, my Lord!
now he's speeding up.
My heart's going about 120 beats per minute and my knees are worried they're going to get cracked out. Oh, my Lord.
My mother has told me that when she sees me in vulnerable situations on this show,
Oh, we can't shoot that guy. No! No!
it stresses her out.
Mama, This show is not for you.
Fox enjoys riding his bike like this, but he also knows that professional motorcyclists die here every day.
Have you had friends that have been killed too?
Yeah, I had.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, man. I'm sorry.
It's the life, man. If you don't like this life, you go in the car, you know?
Right, right. Oh my God! That's freaky.
It's not as freaky as this.
I'm crapping myself!
I'm going to be crapping myself a whole lot more momentarily because I'm about to start driving.
My turn, is it?
Driving in the downtown core isn't that tough because the cars are either moving slowly or not at all. Even so, it just doesn't feel right.
Have you ever been this scared in your entire life? It's mayhem here. You guys are crazy. So am I, though. That's part of the weirdness of it all. I'm crazy, too.
To move even faster through the downtown core,
Take care of the ambulance, okay?
Fox is now tailgating an ambulance.
You use the ambulance like a snowplow to get you through. You sneaky little devil.
I thought we'd be staying on beginner roads today, but
There?
Fox has taken me to an advanced road.
Oh, man. How do you merge into that?
I merge into that
Thank you.
by doing about 40 shoulder checks. And then the car passing begins.
Feels so wrong. Feels so wrong. I only ever got my motorcycle license for this show. I don't really feel like I'm good enough to be doing this. It's all so new to me. I'm coming with you. I'm coming with you. Wow, this is far and away the most powerful bike I've ever been on. It's only a small bike, but so far pretty much every bike I've driven has been a rinky-dink piece of crap, and now we're on. Where are we going, to the right?
Look to your front.
When Fox told me to look to my front just now, I didn't understand what he meant. What he meant was stop doing shoulder checks.
Look out time in there. Don't look to
Never
to
look
that guy.
backwards.
No.
Never look backwards.
Look
Only look
straight.
forward. What is this, Delhi, India?
I'm going 100 kilometers an hour, and that's the fastest I've ever driven on a motorcycle.
Wow, it is faster than the traffic until you clip a mirror and then slide underneath somebody and have them crush your skull. Then you become a lot slower than the traffic. Yeah, let's go.
I'd better get going, because now that I'm only looking forward, I have no idea that I'm holding up a long line of moto boys.
Oh, this is so freaky. Oh, I wish I knew an appropriate song for this, because I feel like singing. Oh, would take the place of yelling, holy, merge into that, into that, into that. All right.
Merging into that will require a whole lot more yelling.
This is the craziest way to drive on the planet.
To decompress after my bike lesson, beer is definitely required. And at a watering hole near my hotel, I find expat American William Ryan.
In the 17 years that you've been here, have you seen bad accidents, like witnessed them firsthand?
Always. At least once a week. And you kind of get immune to it.
Yeah.
It really, it sucks because, there's people, they're out there making a living. They're out there living their lives too. And, to die in traffic, for your job.
I don't want to be one of those people.
And let me tell you, almost 3 motor boys die per day in this city.
I read one. You think it's three?
No, it's 2.85 per day.
But ultimately, after being here for a week, that's what I'm going to do at the end. I'm going to be a moto boy.
Good luck. Good luck. I take my hat off to those guys because those guys make this city run.
They also make car drivers afraid to change lanes.
What happens is you're maybe moving 10, 12, 15 kilometers an hour.
And they just...
And they're going 90, 100. So...
You're going to clip one of these guys.
You're going to clip one of these guys, and if you clip them, don't stop.
Did you say, if I clip one, don't stop?
Don't stop. Because what's going to happen is, right behind him, within 2 minutes, there's going to be 60 more.
Yeah.
And those guys, you're going to get lynched.
Let's go. Look at the yeah.
When my Sao Paulo driving experience continues, I fly through the streets on an emergency run.
No, motorboy, no.
Then I really start flying.
Whoa!
Sao Paulo, Brazil, is a city that's had an addiction to cars for almost a century. When the other great cities of the world were building subway lines in the 1920s, Sao Paulo chose to build more roads. And in the 1930s, the city's tram lines got removed and were replaced with, you guessed it, more roads. Sao Paulo's choice to honor private cars over public transit didn't end in the 30s, much to the chagrin of Ciro Biederman, Sao Paulo's director of public transit.
There's a famous Brazilian politician that said that to govern is to make roads.
When was that?
In the 40s, actually.
The roads that were built in the 50s became so congested, overpasses were built in the 60s with the hopes of alleviating the gridlock.
This is completely nonsense. It's like believing that solution to obesity is having larger pants, right? So you give more space for cars, they will use it.
Did the culture of car dominate politics here in the 70s and 80s as well? Did it go that long?
Totally. In the early 80s, we moved to tunnels instead of overpasses, tunnels.
Are tunnels, in your mind, the same as overpasses? Are they just more problems?
Absolutely. So the solution relies on public transit.
There are 42,000 buses in Sao Paulo and another 80 kilometers of metro rail track. But here, car is king. 1,000 additional vehicles enter this traffic flow each and every day. And each and every day, this traffic flows slower. In 1980, the average rush hour speed was 25 kilometers an hour. Now, it's down to 14K an hour.
Which is why the uber rich here, well, they take helicopters to get around town.
There are 500 privately owned choppers in Sao Paulo.
And for the next step in my automotive education, I'm going to join in on Sao Paulo's treat as being the most chopperific city in the entire world. You bet it, baby. I'm riding the helicopter. I'm Andrew.
Pedro, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Pedro.
Pedro Carvalho is a helicopter pilot, but today he's going to act as my tour guide in the sky.
Like that, yeah? Oh, look at that. I feel so Top Gun or in a movie or something. It's awesome. Oh! Holy cow. What's the average length of one of your trips if you're delivering somebody as if it's a taxi service?
Within Sao Paulo, I don't do anything that takes more than 15 minutes.
Is that right?
Traveling across Sao Paulo by car can take all day. So it really only makes sense that the city's richest residents use helicopters to get around.
How many helicopter pads are in Sao Paulo?
Oh, that's it.
You don't know?
That's a good question. No idea. But it's so many thousands. I don't know.
Thousands?
Yeah. Almost every business building there is a helipad on the top.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Sao Paulo has more registered helicopter pads than there are in all of the United Kingdom. But chopper pilots here aren't limited to using just registered helipads.
So do you have clients who have large backyards and you just land there?
We have all type of beach clients. So we land it at that backyard.
So you have people that say, pick me up at 7:30 a.m. every day for the year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, every day.
And when they fly those rich people to the office tower they work at, they can't just take a direct route.
So we have some corridors to go in one direction, another corridor to go the other direction.
So
okay?
there are roads in the sky?
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
Obviously, the roads in the sky don't get quite as clogged as the roads on the ground.
What's the biggest traffic jam you've ever witnessed from the sky?
Oh, one day we had like almost 300 kilometers in the whole city.
The whole city of Sao Paulo has 17,000 kilometers of roads. And on one day in June of 2009, 291 kilometers of the roads here had bumper-to-bumper gridlock. It wasn't one long line of stopped cars. It was a kilometer of traffic jam here, 4K of immobilized cars there, and 10K of frustration there. The folks caught in traffic may be frustrated, but not me. I'm having a ball.
Fire pole fun. Look at that. And look at this, too. This is a motorcycle that's completely tricked out with first aid gear. It's basically a paramedic vehicle on 2 wheels. Here in Sao Paulo, 11,000 calls a day go through the emergency response system. And here in one of the city's 46 fire stations, the kind of call they deal with the most is traffic accident. So today, I'm going to be driving that vehicle as we trail this vehicle, and our mission will be, well, to respond to whatever emergency there is.
The guy who will be accompanying me today usually drives one of the speedy paramedic motorcycles. But today, Sergeant Edson Dutra will be riding shotgun with me.
Let's go.
That's us?
Yeah.
When an emergency call comes in, it's essentially the start of a race.
Someone with a car hits someone with a bike.
Okay.
It's a bike versus car.
Bike versus car could mean a critical injury. Today, my mission is to simply keep up with the ambulance in front of me.
Now, how close do I want to be? As close as I possibly can, right?
Yes, but please do not crash.
Do not hit, yes.
The traffic at this light has our ambulance blocked in.
This is the reason we use the motorcycle, because the traffic is terrible.
They'll be the first to respond every single time. They'll beat us there every time.
They are very fast.
We're fast, too.
No motorboy, no.
Sliding through the city at 70k an hour while tailgating is pretty intimidating.
It's just so weird having your foot to the floor in the inner city.
It doesn't feel weird to Sergeant Dutra. He enjoys it.
So this job for you contains everything that you love. Helping people, riding motorcycles. These are your two favorite things to do in the world. And adrenaline.
Yes.
Is everybody who does work like this an adrenaline junkie on some level?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
Hey!
My adrenaline is pumping by the time we arrive at the scene of the accident.
Okay, let's see what happened.
Sure.
What happened was a woman was knocked off of her scooter. How? Sergeant Dutra is finding that out now.
In fact, there was a bus and then hit the scooter and then the bus go away.
Before the paperwork can even begin, a new call comes through.
That's the way it happens here in Sao Paulo. There's accidents all the time. Do the math. There's 20 million people here, 7 million vehicles. They're hitting each other. What happened?
How the man fell in the street.
Okay, same as before. I'll follow the truck?
Yes.
Okay.
Same as before, my adrenaline is flowing.
That's amazing that people will do that. Boy, and he smiles and you see the thumbs up. That's just crazy.
What's really crazy is that at practically every intersection, the cars make no effort to move.
That bus is backing up so we can get through, is it? We like that bus driver.
Yes.
We like him.
He help us.
Yes.
The firefighters in Sao Paulo help everyone.
It's really important work. Thank your local firefighter.
When my Brazilian driving education continues, I drive a delivery truck and learn more about the local motorcycle culture.
How old do you have to be to drive a motorcycle?
10.
Here in Sao Paulo, the most common street food is hot dogs that are sold out of the backs of vans. And if you're wondering what they taste like, well, they taste like hot dogs that are sold out of the backs of vans. Two guys are trying to change that, though. Sao Paulo's first and only large-scale food truck is now in business. But the municipal traffic laws won't let them set up shop on the street. They have to park on private property. These expat New York entrepreneurs are Jorge Gonzalez and Marcio da Silva. And their truck is called Buzina.
Buzina in Portuguese is horn.
Okay.
So we have a special horn. Here, everyone's on. I mean, there you go.
There you go.
It's like every 5 minutes is a horn.
You can't have a food truck named Buzina without having a cool horn.
That's right here. That's the one, okay?
That's the one.
Buzina is so new, the guys haven't figured out how to organize the back yet. Before starting this business, the Buzina boys were lobbying the local government to change their laws. And they're seeing results. The government recently announced that large-scale food trucks will soon be allowed to park and operate on the street. And that's caused a mini explosion.
In the next 3 months, about 15 to 20 food trucks at least coming up.
Get out. I hope the new food trucks organize their contents better. We've only got 2 kilometers left to go. But to make it that far, Marcio believes it'll take us more than an hour. Holy traffic
2
jam.
blocks turning into 100 blocks.
The Moto Boys, on the other hand, can cover that 2-kilometer distance in about 5 minutes. Welcome to Rush Hour Friday in Sao Paulo.
But actually, this is not much different from a Monday, Tuesday regular day.
You're telling me this is good for Friday?
Over the next half hour, we travel 5 blocks.
Yeah, don't drive here. Well, who am I kidding, really? You can't drive here. It's gridlock. Oh, I can just spin it like this. All right, welcome to Saturday in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Saturday is considered market day. It's also considered moving day because on the weekends you can drive vehicles in the city that you can't drive on weekdays. And for the next step in my automotive education here, I'm going to be driving this delivery truck.
And I'm going to be driving it in a favela. Favelas are the poorest parts of urban Brazil. They often get referred to as slums. But these days, the infrastructure in most of Sao Paulo's favelas is in keeping with first world standards. Elder Pomaro does delivery driving in favelas all the time.
Favela's different from the rest of the city, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah, really, very much so.
No law in the traffic.
No law?
No.
Okay, whatever gets you through, gets you through.
Getting through the streets of a favela requires patience and precise driving. Because the streets are narrow.
And this favela is called what?
Paraisópolis.
Paraisópolis.
Okay.
It's like Greek France or something. Paraisópolis.
Paraisópolis means paradise.
One person goes forward, someone else goes backwards. This is common?
I always assumed paradise would have wider roads than this. And I didn't expect to find traffic jams in paradise.
How often do you sometimes have to stop for? 10 minutes, 20 minutes?
1 hour.
1 hour?
Yeah.
An hour? Forget it. I want to see what the holdup actually is. The favelas in Brazil started to be built in the late 1700s. And for a while, they were predominantly populated by former slaves after emancipation came in the year 1888. Today, more than 1 million people live in Sao Paulo's favelas. And for them, traffic jams are just a part of life.
I mean, this is one of those kind of traffic jams that you could wait until Monday to get solved. Big truck, bus, 20 cars that way, 20 cars this way, pedestrians everywhere. At least there's chickens there. People get hungry, you can at least have a snack. Just when you think the traffic jam might be coming to an end, this guy peels in. He can't make a turn. What the heck? The thing, I guess, that you notice culturally is that there's no road rage. Everybody's expecting this. It's not like this is a wacky Saturday. This is Saturday. This is what happens. Nobody's honking. Nobody's cursing. Nobody's yelling. Everybody's just waiting patiently because if you bring your car here or your bike here on a Saturday, you know this is what you're in for. This is driving in the favela on Saturday.
Back at the truck,
I guess everybody at the end of this lineup is backing up. I gotta keep an eye out for the motorcycles. Holy crap.
everybody is backing up. And so am I. One thing you almost never see in a favela is a moto boy. There's just no work for them here. However, boys on motorcycles are a common sight.
You're like 12. Are you allowed to ride that motorcycle?
Another common sight is buses blocking the way.
3 on a bike, child with no helmet, raining, weirdest traffic jam I've ever been in. Welcome to the favela here in Sao Paulo, Brazil.
When my Sao Paulo driving education continues, I get right into the thick of the business district's traffic by working as a bike courier.
This ain't being a bike courier, man. This is having a death wish. Sao Paulo is the 10th richest city in the entire world. The GDP here is $388 billion. Now, to put that in perspective, let's talk about companies. In the town, there are 60,000 different companies. And of those 60,000 companies, 10 of them are bicycle courier companies. So, for the next step in my vehicular education here, I'm going to ride with the bicycle courier company.
The Eco Bike Company has existed in Sao Paulo for only 1 year. And when he rides for them, Andre Deschen says it's the buses that make him the most nervous.
Buses are the worst, you know?
Buses are the worst?
Yeah.
What makes them the worst?
They don't respect you.
Really?
So they try to push you.
Oh, dear. I don't like hearing that buses are the bad guys when they're right there.
Andre covers between 50 and 70 kilometers a day making his deliveries.
Wait!
About the same distance that Moto Boys cover.
Is this your competition, these bikes, these Moto Boys?
Yeah. Well, yes and no. Our clients used to have a different mind, you know? They have this green finger, you know, like finger, not a green mind.
Yeah. Are you cheaper or more expensive than the Moto Boys?
We're cheaper.
You're cheaper?
We're cheaper.
Andre also thinks the bike couriers are safer than the Moto Boys.
On my last day here, I'm going to be a Moto Boy. That's my final challenge here in the city.
Well, good luck.
Good luck, hey? I hate it when people tell me good luck in this tone that means I would never do that.
It's really dangerous.
It's pretty dangerous. Look where the hell we are.
Andre tells me he's cycled past a dead Moto Boy.
He's laying on the ground and lots of blood.
Lots of blood.
Yeah, and it was not just once, you know. You see, on a weekly basis.
You see a Moto Boy's bike down on the ground on a weekly basis?
Yeah.
Is this where we're turning left, Andre?
Yeah, left here.
Oh, man, that's a hairy turn, eh?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Where the next turn takes us is to the city's busiest street, Paulista Avenue. 8 lanes of fast-moving traffic.
This is just mayhem. This is the biggest city in South America. This is its biggest street. This is rush hour. This is being a bike courier in Sao Paulo, baby. Wait for me! Woo!
Flying between the vehicles with no margin for error is giving me a new perspective on what this job really is.
This ain't being a bike courier, man. This is having a death wish.
Little do I know.
Oh, man, boss, look out. Run for your life.
2 bicyclists did recently die on this very street.
In this avenue, we have like 2 ghost bikes.
Ghost bikes? Like...
Yeah, when people on a bike die, they make this tribute.
Ghost bike tributes are an international phenomenon.
What do you think when you see this? Does it make you worried as a bicyclist?
I think, yeah. But it also reminds me that I'm still alive, so...
On Paulista Avenue, the 2 ghost bikes are just a couple of 100 meters apart.
Is that another one right there?
Yeah, that's another one. On the other side is writing, does your hurry worth a life?
Is your hurry worth a life?
Yeah.
Stop rushing.
Yeah.
The irony is, we're late for our next delivery. And if you're a bike courier in Sao Paulo, Brazil, your job is to hurry.
Wait for me!
When my Brazilian vehicular experience continues,
Oh, boy.
I pull a handcart.
It's not a car crash that kills me. It's going to be a heart attack. Recycling. How does it get dealt with here in Sao Paulo? Well, every day, businesses push all of their recyclables in front of their establishment, and other guys cruise the neighborhoods, picking it up and putting it in carts that they then push to some corner where another truck picks up the recyclables and takes it to the depot. It's carts just like this. For the next step in my automotive education here, I'm not going to be driving a car. I'm going to be pulling a cart.
The guy I'll be pulling a cart with always works with a partner. And today, I'll be that partner. Vladimir Zungalo only knows 2 words of English.
Let's go. Okay. Where are we going? Oh, we're going that way. I can't keep up. I don't know where he's going. He's going in the bus lane is where he's going. Oh, man, she wants to take off going downhill. So there's hundreds of guys like this in the city. They're all over the place. They're in the slums. They're in the downtown business district. They're everywhere.
In fact, catadores, as they're known, are so plentiful that in the entire country of Brazil, there's believed to be over 1 million of them.
We should unionize, all of us pull cart guys. We could make more profit. How you doing, buddy? If you want to join the union, I'm having a meeting later.
The recycling catadores work in 2 ways. As scavengers, just picking up refuse that's left anywhere.
Yeah, it's good?
Yes, let's go.
And they also have regular pickup spots from specific businesses.
Thank you. I'm just learning. Thank you. How am I going to just crush that down in there? All right, Bob's your uncle. We're off. Holy cow, Vladimir, you can go. Time is money, I guess. Jeez, if it's not a car crash that kills me, it's going to be a heart attack. Who got any cardboard? Recyclable guy coming through town. Anybody got any recyclables? There's certain things you don't picture yourself doing in this life. When I was a little boy, I wasn't dreaming about pulling carts uphill with oncoming buses. Oh, boy.
I have superhuman strength. Or at least that's what I think.
Woo!
I don't realize that Vlad is pushing me.
Where are you, Vlad?
Okay.
Oh, were you pushing?
Huh?
Were you pushing me?
Yeah.
Where's your cart?
I got so big.
What the hell's going on?
What's going on is teamwork.
So now I have to push you?
No, see?
Okay.
One catadore alone can't take a heavy cart uphill.
Oh, man, no wonder they work in 2s.
It's embarrassing to think that just a few moments ago, I believed I had superhuman strength.
Here? Oh, here's where the pickup happens?
I see that.
When we get Vladimir's cart to the spot where the recycling truck picks things up, we go back to retrieve mine.
There we go, Vladimir.
I've pulled this kind of cart in Haiti and in Nairobi, but never uphill.
In Haiti, they call them burrettes. In Nairobi, they call them cocotenes. I call them hell on wheels, man. And I definitely call it people who drive them the keepers of the city. Dude, you do amazing work.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
Holy crap, man. You gonna go drinking now?
Yes.
When my driving experience in Sao Paulo concludes,
If we all ride in the middle of the road, someone's gonna die.
I try to pass my ultimate test, riding as a moto boy.
Why are we doing this, my friend? Why do we risk our lives like this?
I've been in Sao Paulo, Brazil for 1 week. Trying to learn enough about the local driving culture to see if I can handle the city's most dangerous driving job.
Wait!
And as you know by now, the most dangerous driving job in this city is the one that's done by the motorcycle couriers, known locally as Moto Boys.
So, for my ultimate driving test here in Sao Paulo, I'm going to suck back my fear and I'm going to tackle the city's most dangerous driving job. Oh my God. I'm going to be a moto boy.
Specifically, I'll be riding with a professional moto boy as he makes his afternoon drop-offs. My goal is to keep up with him on his circuitous 40-kilometer route and also to not die. The moto boy I'll be with today is longtime Sao Paulo resident Junior Rambo. That's right. I'm driving with Rambo.
Oh, we gotta go.
Yeah.
Go.
Going with speed freak Junior Rambo feels like it's going to be toxic to my health. Junior drives like a madman. And if I'm going to pass this ultimate test, I'm going to have to drive like a madman. So, when I see Junior shoot a gap, I shoot the same gap.
Oh, it's so tight. Why would you even try going through there? Why am I trying to go through there?
And when I see him drive in the oncoming lane, I drive in the oncoming lane.
Wait for me, Junior. Come on, buddy. Wait for me.
And when I see Junior speed up to 70 and fly past a moving car, I try to do the same thing, but I nearly run into a parked car.
I can't try to keep up with him or I'm gonna die.
There's a question I've been wanting to ask about motoboys ever since I met that American guy on my first night here.
Is it true that if somebody hits a motoboy, the other motoboys get out and hurt that driver of the car?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Because the motorbike here is the one team.
Everybody's on the same team almost.
Yeah.
We're all motoboys,
Yeah,
so
all
we're like a big, like a gang.
Exactly.
Almost like a gang. Wow.
I kind of like being part of this gang. And when we come around the next corner, I'm admiring the bikes owned by my gang brothers when Junior suddenly stops.
Ah, there. Jeez. You gotta tell me these things.
The drop-off we'll be making after this one is way across town. And getting across town,
Brace yourself.
means using bigger roads with faster speeds.
Oh, boys, we're already doing 70 and he's accelerating 80. That's 90, and I'm uncomfortable. Oh, this guy's cutting me off and there's a motorboy coming up my butt. Yeah, baby, here we go. Anybody that tells you that it's like a video game is lying. This ain't 3 lives. This is real life. One time only. There ain't no second crashes in this. There's only one. Whoa, look at these guys. They quiver in the lanes the slightest bit. And my heart just goes into my mouth because that 1 inch that he moves could be the matter of me being thrown underneath his neighbor's wheels.
Speaking of underneath, check out the traffic in this tunnel.
Look at the cars. They stay wide. They know the middle is for motorcycles. There's a cultural difference in the driving style between people from Brazil and people from North America. Wow.
Motoboys break the law all the time. And to bypass a multi-lane freeway, Junior is now going over a pedestrian bridge.
So this is only for people walking, is it?
Yeah.
If we got caught doing this, there'd be a serious fine.
Breaking the law, breaking the law.
2 minutes later, it turns out we did get caught doing that.
The man is always hassling me. Ever since I got my motorcycle license, the man hassles me.
Obrigado, me desculpe.
Obrigado. Thank you very much.
After receiving a very hefty ticket, we go right back to speeding.
50 kilometers an hour. There's a sign that says 50. We're doing 90. We're doing 90.
And now we're doing something that could get us T-boned.
Oh, now I'm running a red. Excellent. Are there any laws that you don't break?
Junior doesn't brake for pedestrians.
Wow, that pedestrian nearly got stumped out.
He doesn't brake when a bus cuts me off. But he does brake a tiny little bit, and I do mean just a tiny little bit, when he's about to have a front-on collision with a cop.
Desculpa.
Our next delivery is at a hospital.
Oh, here.
Yeah, here, right. That.
After this drop-off is done, the intensity level is going to rise yet again.
You get gauze and stuff for when I crash?
Yeah, no.
Because we're headed into evening rush hour.
Oh, hello, motorboy. Always in the oncoming lane. But the other motorboys come in the oncoming lane. If we all ride in the middle of the road, someone's gonna die. Or this is what being a motoboy is all about. I've been playing games all day, driving in the daytime when it's not thick. Here's where they really make their money. Dusk, rush hour, stress o'clock, people angry, trying to get home. They've had a bad day at work. This is madness. This is absolute madness. Why are we doing this, my friend? Why do we risk our lives like this? It just seems nuts to me. Oh, man. Good luck out there, buddy. Good luck.
Look, the nice bridge.
That's coolest bridge ever.
I wish I could tell you that I was really enjoying the coolness of this curving bridge, but the truth is, I'm still thinking about how this job could kill me.
Jeez. Man, it never gets uninteresting, hey? Never, not for a split second.
In the newspaper tomorrow, there will be the names of 2 moto boys who died today.
Turning right, yeah.
Pulling up to our final delivery. I'm thankful my name won't be one of them.
That's the last one?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, I lived. I'm still rolling backwards. I lived. Holy crap. I don't know how you do it every day. I would not have all my teeth if I had to do this every day. I'd eventually crash and my face would explode.
Is it normal here?
It's normal here, yeah. You should come to Brazil. It's absolutely phenomenal. But do yourself a favor, man. Don't drive here.